Hello everyone. Okay. Well, we're here for a very big Crazy House World Championship match. We're here to see Kleerkast versus Bugzilla. I'm going to be co-hosting today with my good friend Mugwort. He's just joining now, and we can see him on screen. The game's just started. I'm just introducing the viewers, so if you want to kick off your stream, you can as well. Big match tonight. This is to play for the last position available in the candidates. 11 out of 12 have been determined. We're going to see best of 10 games. Winner has to win by margin of 2. And this is first game, Kleerkast with White. Just so you know, Mugwort, I'm going to be watching from Kleerkast's point of view. Maybe you can watch from Bugzilla's, and then people can have their choice of which side they want to view from.
I'm just still trying to work out the window, so I might be
That's
quiet
all right.
for a second.
That's okay. So Mugwort's going to stream as well.
How to add the zoom cameras?
I just used the one monitor, and I put Lichess onto a minimized window, and then I put zoom onto another window alongside it. So it's literally, I'm not screen capturing it or anything. Just capturing it in one monitor.
So in OBS, do you add a video capture, or what is it?
No. I'm just doing one monitor, like a whole monitor grab, and then I'm doing two windows. But you could do a capture.
So I'm trying to do it bit by bit.
Sure. Okay. Well, take your time. I'll commentate on the first game while you're getting set up.
I'll try and work it out.
There's no rush. No rush. So interesting here, Bugzilla with h5 and Kleerkast countering with h4, not willing to allow that to progress. Now this is probably Kleerkast's Kleerkast's favorite system, I would say. Knight e5, knight takes e5 captured quickly. Maybe Bugzilla's thinking knight g4. Yeah. So this is a new position in my eyes. Quite balanced, I would say. But yeah, bishop takes h4. Maybe he's thinking of. I don't know if it's effective just yet, because even if there's all these captures, bishop at g3 is probably still holding nicely for white. But yeah, if Kleerkast is concerned about it, he could put a knight on f3, could put a knight on g5. Okay, he's putting a knight on d4. He's not concerned about bishop takes h4, and I think that's the right call. He was looking for positional grab to grab at f5, pull the pawn from e6 off d5. And I've seen Kleerkast do this so many times. Knight takes d5, potentially looking for e6 or pawn at f5. Yeah, so Kleerkast, he's good at breaking open these positions and generating a nice positional attack, and I don't think Bugzilla's going to be comfortable here. I mean, bishop h7, e6, castles, takes, rook takes, pawn at g6. I mean, I think Kleerkast is in a position that he likes. Bugzilla likes to play a positional grinding, slow, safe game. So I don't think this knight takes d5 and pawn at f5 was part of Bugzilla's plan.
You know who I really need right now is Chuck. He's really good at solving these issues.
Yeah, Chuck and Helm's Knight, both of those, because they're doing the Bughouse streams all the time, so they've got to know how to navigate all these windows. If you have a look on my Twitch, you'll see how I've set it up. I mean, it's not glamorous, but you can see both of our faces.
Yeah, because the windows are side by side, whereas I have it set up so if I can drag the boxes onto OBS somehow.
Oh, you can make
one above the other.
Yeah, you can, but you can do that. You can do that in Zoom. You can just shrink the Zoom window to a column. So make it really tall and really not so wide, and it will naturally put you one on top of the other. If you have a look at my Twitch now, you'll see exactly that. So bishop h7, e6, f6 played. Very interesting. So Bugzilla not willing to open up trades here. and settling for what looks like a very precarious position. I mean, a pawn here or there is going to really hurt. Kleerkast in the driving seat here. I said it kind of all looked balanced, and then suddenly Kleerkast just looks like it's got a fantastic position. And all the pieces working well. If d takes c4, like bishop takes b7 should be fine, but you'd even be concerned about maybe even something more direct than that. I think that's direct enough, just coming in on the light squares, because castles, pawn at g6 is always going to be good for white. Opera in Disguise in the chat says knight h3 idea. Sometimes. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, knight h3 is... I'm not too concerned about knight h3. But yeah, everything's pretty scary here for black. So c5. Wow. I mean, yeah, I think that was like, I didn't even think about that. I thought Kleerkast would take it quite quickly. Both down to just nearly 30 seconds. Kleerkast quick to play pawn at d7 and d6 just going straight. He's got the light squares, now he's going for the dark squares. He's basically saying, yes, black, you can have 3 knights, but what are you going to do with 3 knights? So very nice game from Kleerkast so far. I think Bugzilla maybe has to make a capture somewhere. Ooh, okay, allowing bishop at d6. The queen is hanging, but maybe he figures he can take it. Takes, queen at d6, king f7 I thought was still okay. Maybe then queen takes e6, king takes, queen b3, and you're coming out looking very dangerous there too. Queen could go to b7, d5. So, but he chooses king f7, so he's finding some fast defense. Is it going to be enough? Is d8 queen something? No. Kleerkast has got to watch his clock. Bishop takes d7 makes sense. Queen takes d4. You got to keep the momentum going. So Bugzilla with a ton of pieces on the sidelines here. There's still plenty of life in this game, but Kleerkast with the commanding position here. Bishop at b3 potentially. Queen d7 would be threatened. He goes queen d7 first. Pawn at e7. Queen takes. So you should block with a knight to cover d5. Stop the queen at d5 idea. So Kleerkast now on the clock. Alright, now I don't think he's getting mated anywhere, so, you know, black needs a rook or something to make something happen. So he's just got to keep his king safe. So knight at e5, yes. If takes, queen g5, king h7, queen at g7 mate, knight must capture. Queen takes f6, huge move, because queen takes f6, king takes, queen at g5 mates. That was made in 2, queen takes f6, but Kleerkast is so safe here. I can't see Bugzilla getting out of this one. So a comment on both players. You know, I think both players have the weapons to dismantle each other. This game, unstoppable, mate. That's a stunning game from Kleerkast.
Finally started the stream. I only had half an eye on that game.
That's all right, Mugwort.
So I noticed a knight somewhere in the middle of the board. Was it a knight on f4?
Knight on
controlling everything.
Knight on d4 at one stage. Kleerkast played it.
Pawns on f5 and e6.
Kleerkast,
yeah. Even though I only had half an eye on it.
Kleerkast played a beautiful game, just the way he likes to play them. So, yes, here we go. So
it's a very unprofessional stream from my end, at least.
Well, that's all good. We're going to lift the level now, aren't we?
I think you told me once, so all you need is a board in front of you. I'm not like this, you know, flashy graphics and music and stuff. Intros, you know, 5-minute long intros.
Yeah, no, we're just straight up. Ooh, knight d6.
Wow,
okay, this I mean, yeah, Bugs won't take this quickly. But if you don't,
he'll be reminded of his favorite knight f6 opening and leaving the knight on f6.
Yeah, he liked to do that. And bishop a4. See, I didn't think he would take that knight on d6. It's like he doesn't want to allow black to play e5 and open up the position. He's just going to sit on him. So what do you do here? Like
What do you
b5?
think? Just bishop e7 and castle? Wow.
Well, they're both going for this h5 idea. Yeah, this knight's just still hanging there. I mean, if white develops enough, eventually he's going to be able to capture that knight. But I think he just wants...
So knight f4 helps to cover h3?
Yes, knight f4 is played. So, yeah, I mean, black just not afraid to give up d6 to develop the bishop and get an attack on the dark squares.
And I think Bugzilla's happy just not to trade anything at the moment, just to play chess for a while.
Yeah, that suits him. So knight c4, I just think b3, you can just kick it back, because you can't take e5, the knight on c6 is pinned. Unless the knight's going to b6, then I know Bugzilla will just go bishop e5 back to e2. He'll just say you've got two knights in the wrong place, and I'm happy. That's what he'll say. Yeah, so Mugwort and I are very good friends with Bugzilla. We've known each other easily more than 10 years. We're acquaintances for at least 20 years.
More than 15, I think. You've been playing on fixed for 15 years or more.
Well, I would have played my first chess tournament
maybe 3 years before that.
I'm sure as a junior, one of my first chess tournaments, I must have seen yourself and your older brother Ian on board one playing some junior championship.
Yeah, it's actually Ian's birthday today.
Oh, is it? Okay. Happy birthday. So he must be 38-ish or 39?
No, he's in his 40s. Well
is
into
he?
his 40s.
Damn. My clock's off.
We've both got a cousin who just turned 50. It's a big milestone. You can hardly believe it because we remember our cousin as a teenager and even younger than that.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Okay, so pawn at g4. So anyway, I was saying we're very good friends with Bugzilla. We know him very well. We've played Bughouse with him many times. Bugzilla used to live just in the next suburb to me. Queen h4.
Look at this.
So ooh, pawn at f2. Pawn at f2, I reckon.
Pawn at f2.
Take
rook takes h2.
Take rook takes h2. Pawn at
something at g3.
Yeah, pawn at g3. You can't take it because of queen at h4. Yeah. Got to go king e2. And then what? Queen at f2, king d1. And like, yeah, Iggy's not going to be comfortable with this one because there's probably some kind of rook takes g2 takes pawn at d2. That'd be the continuation.
Katask is in my chat. Is he in your chat too? He seems to pop his head up everywhere.
Yeah, Katask here says Australians have combined to create a commentary dream team. He says. So pawn at g3.
All we need
king
is
e2.
Master Tan to join us.
What do you do here? Do you play rook takes g2 first? Knight takes, queen at f2, king d1. Like, yeah.
And then take the knight?
Yeah, either take the knight or pawn at d2. I'm undecided. This pawn at d2 is... Yeah, I would have gone rook takes g2 first. It's more threatening. Because I don't see bishop takes c6 going in.
There's no compulsion to take the rook if you go rook takes g2 now.
Ooh, queen takes d4. Yeah, I liked keeping the queen on
f2 for the pawn.
So pawn at f2. Alright, he's going pawn at d2.
Oh,
but
he's going for b2.
Or he's going for a4 maybe. Grab the bishop on a4. But then bishop takes c6 can be played first here.
Katask is saying knight takes b2 and queen takes f4 is another option.
Yes, that was another option. Okay, I'm surprised he's allowed knight takes a4 actually.
So bishop a3 can be answered by queen at g8 check.
But then king d7 was going to look...
Queen takes f7.
Oh, okay.
You could block that. Oh, but then e6 is hanging.
I'm okay with knight takes a4.
Yeah.
So king takes d7, f takes, queen at f7 is the idea. But I think king c8 just runs effectively. Kleerkast is out of the blocks so fast. He's really taking it to Bugzilla.
Yeah, so we get something similar to what you're talking about before.
Yeah.
Do you expect king c8 here?
Well, he's got a hold on the bishop. I think that's
he's
correct.
Hide on d8.
Hide on d8 is correct.
No more checks. Well, there's queen g8, knight e6.
That's right.
But then, can you take the queen and not get mated?
Well...
Yeah, it's hard to say.
He's looking for knight e6.
Knight e6
can he run out to e2?
So the king might be safe on e2, but then there's knight takes c3 check.
He went to d7 willingly. So if knight takes d4... Oh, alright. He's allowing queen takes a1, but maybe that's safer. Oh, Bugs is working his magic here. Can he play bishop a3?
Knight takes f8 check and bishop at e6.
Wait, is there something on here? Like pawn at b2? No, I thought pawn at b2 to preserve... Because the bishop on d3 covers c2, there's no mate. Like, Bugzilla's getting out of this.
Bugzilla's safe. I think he's safe.
But another bishop for a3 would have been different. Like, if he played pawn at b2 instead of bishop a3.
And then double bishops on a3.
Yeah, this isn't... Well, he's now trying to grab g8. That's what he's doing. Which might be okay, actually. This is still a live game. Because knight c5 is covered. Queen at f7, you block with pawn at e7. Knight f8.
Knight c5, you can take and cover all the, f5 and e6
yeah,
checks.
but knight f8, you can't play rook takes. He's blocked with the rook. Okay. Ooh, knight c3, queen at c1.
Rook g2.
Rook g2. No, rook g2. Rook g2 was winning.
It was mating, yeah. Rook f2 and queen e1.
Yeah. Rook f2, yeah. Queen e1, pawn at h2, rook at g1. Oh, damn! What a match! 1-1.
Wow.
1-1. That I couldn't.
So yeah, knight f8 was a better idea than knight c5.
Yeah, knight f8. These guys are leaving nothing in the tank.
They're truly playing like it's an elimination match.
Yeah, it is. So that's what's at stake, guys. The winner goes through to the candidates, and the loser does not. Bugzilla lost his match in the upper bracket to the finisher.
That was close, wasn't it? 4-6?
Yeah, and I think the finisher went up 2-0. Bugzilla came back with huge momentum to be up 4-2, and then the finisher just closed the door on him and went, I'm winning 4 games on my own and won 6-4. That was very impressive. And Kleerkast lost...
I noticed Chicken did something similar against the finisher because he won 4 in a row at the end. He was down 3-5.
Yeah, Chicken won like 7-5
in the... It was just the bonus match.
That was the bonus match.
Not for qualification.
But still, look, hats off to the finisher for, playing so well. Really stepped up this year.
Not easy to take down the mighty Bugzilla, that's for sure.
No. And showed his medal against Chicken as well. So exciting to see what comes up in the candidates. But look...
So is this something similar to what happened in... Because I was only half watching game 1.
Yeah, very similar, except Bugzilla's...
on d4 and the
Bugzilla's...
e6.
He's gone straight to bishop h7, whereas before he went to bishop g6 and he lost the tempo against pawn at f5. So maybe bishop h7 is his improvement. Kleerkast just smashing out the moves because, it's like, well, this worked well before, I'm doing it again. So Bugzilla's idea here will be basically to hold on to a knight for a pawn and try to not die. That's the aim of the game.
To not lose too many pawns.
Yeah, rook takes f5 doesn't work really because knight takes d5 is open. He might play a knight at f8. That just looks like a Bugzilla kind of move. I don't have to understand it.
To cover the e5. He's got to cover g6 as well.
Like, can you see him playing anything else other than knight at f8?
Knight at f8.
We don't have to justify it or agree with it. I just think it will happen. No.
Oh.
He's played my first suggestion, but bishop takes d5. Maybe he figures his pawn at e6. I think that's a reasonable decision. For the viewers, bishop takes f5.
Kleerkast has to watch out for h2 if ever there's a queen trade happening.
Yeah, knight at h3 is now something to look out for. Yeah, okay. I can see why he didn't go for knight at f8. He was happy with this. Is there anything on? I don't think so. I don't think white's got enough goods here. There's like no bishop. There's no crazy bishop takes e6, queen takes d8, pawn at h7, king takes pawn at g6, king takes g6. I think it's safe for black. It's got two bishops defending his king.
Yeah, but a little bit more stuff is all Kleerkast will need. Even if the king was on f7, you notice there's no knight drops.
Yeah.
If he could take that knight on g4, that would be very useful.
See, with white here, you either have to, like,
thinking pawn at h3.
Yeah, it's hard. You have to attack or defend really accurately from this position.
You don't want to use up all your ammo in defense.
Yeah, knight takes e3, knight at e3 would win a queen, but then you're probably giving too much for white to counterattack with. Right, this is a good one. Bugs is in. He's dangerous here.
Knight f2.
Where's the white king going?
I mean, this bishop takes h4 as well, depending on where the king goes.
Bugs is in happy place here. Knight takes f2. Pick up the queen. Double check. He's just choosing what good move he wants now. The knight takes f2, king g2, knight at e3 if you want to try to pick up the queen with check. And then like king takes f2, knight takes d1, rook takes d1, bishop takes h4. That should be game over. So rook takes f5, actually very good decision from Bugzilla, I think.
He might even decide just to take the queen and allow pawn at f7, king h7, and then the bishop on e7 covers everything.
So sorry, if the king goes where? Like g2? King g2?
If the king is on h7...
No, white king.
And the bishop on e7 covers the knight checks. I can't see anything for white if he just takes the queen.
Right.
So knight takes f2, knight takes d1.
It's as if he's trying to calculate mate here. Oh, he went for e3.
Does he just want to put the bishop... he doesn't have bishop g2.
Why didn't he just go knight takes f2? Now the bishop's not covering h7. It's who said that?
The best aspect of Bugzilla's game is just take all the pieces. Don't go for mate, Bugzilla. Just take all the pieces.
Maybe he's thinking bishop at g2, bishop takes, queen takes d1?
He might have even forgotten the bishop was covering g2.
Or he might have forgotten knight e3
is not... 30 seconds and then think for another 40 seconds on the next move. Unless he missed something.
Well, I reckon he missed that knight e3 is not double check.
Yeah, sometimes you have two ways to double check.
Because you're getting, you could, knight takes d1, you could be getting mated here. Alright.
So he is trying to do it all with check.
Queen takes f1.
That was his original idea, even though...
Queen takes d5 here.
He missed something.
Man.
Right, now it's Kleerkast's turn.
He didn't intend this, man. This is not...
No way, no way.
He would have...
he missed bishop takes g2.
I think he missed e takes f5. Like, it'd be interesting to have a webcam on him, and I just nearly think he'd just say, oops.
He wouldn't be worried. He trusts himself. He backs himself surviving in positions like this.
I don't think it matters how much you back yourself here. You're pretty dead. That's mate in 3.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Ah, bugs.
Bugs. Knight takes f2 is so clean because bishop on f5 is key attacker and
That was a
defender.
heartbreaker.
Ah, but Kleerkast had his chances in game 2, so jeez. Well, this is going to be a good match tonight, guys. This is going to be a good match. Okay. E takes d5 this time.
And who do you favor if it gets down to 4-all, 5-all? Do you have a favorite in that case?
Nah, it's too close. I figure it's too close to call before even match 1 is played. So if it actually goes to 4-all...
Bugzilla and I have a bit of experience in this line.
Yeah, you Bugzilla and Master Tan, and then I've learned from each of you three. You're going, hey, I like this line.
But he didn't play the pawn at c4, the Finnish pawn at c4.
The pawn at c4.
Instead of d3.
Yes. No, I see you and Master Tan play pawn at c4. That's very accurate. Nah, he's just going for...
I think it was first played by Vampelli.
Right.
About 3 years ago. Because he often plays these sidelines, you know, to avoid all this knight f4, pawn at h3 stuff in these lines.
Right.
Later on, after white castles.
Yeah, I think Bugzilla's just going to go... I'm going to play safe and solid from here on and not make silly mistakes. That's... Kleerkast, I found like he's just... If he's had a small opening here, he's just taken it. He knows he needs to play aggressive today. He's playing the strategy. So, you know, he turned up in his upper bracket match against Chicken Crossroad with the same attitude, but he didn't quite...
He's really ready to fight.
He didn't quite capitalize in the critical positions. I found he did, like, game 1 today was just really on the ball for Kleerkast. So he's turned up with his game face today. He's looking for a spot in the candidates. We got a match in our hands. So it's knight at h4, not moving the bishop on b4. He's gone straight for the attack. Okay, knight at f4. You think bishop d6?
This really looks like
sense.
a bughouse game. You attack the knight, then you go pawn at g3, swap knights. Just do anything to stop knight takes g2 in bughouse.
Wow, no
Queen
prisoners.
b5 doesn't even work. Knight c6 covers both the bishops.
Okay. Jeez, Kleerkast, so aggressive. Going for knight on g2. He's leaving the bishop on b4, but then has turned it into an aggressor with two pieces now attacking c3. He's making Bugzilla uncomfortable here. What do you do? You know what I think Bugs will do? Like,
Very good question.
I think... no, it doesn't even work. You can't even do a queen b5, knight c6, sack the queen, because the queen on d1 is coming in with mate. Ah, king f1, because he was going to look for something safe, wasn't he? What would you do here?
So bishop takes f4?
Bishop takes f4. You're going to sack knight g2?
Yep, all in.
All in. All in, 6 million. That's a line from James Bond. Bishop takes f4.
What else? Bishop b d6 was another option.
Yeah, Kleerkast is all in 6 million without thinking. So king takes g2, knight at h4. If you run up, that's just death. Pawn at g2. Yeah, knight f3 takes, making a knight, and then rook takes, rook at g2, mate.
The bishop is hanging on f4, so he'd like to do something like pawn at g3 and cover everything, but just knight takes f4.
Can you just take f4 here? You're probably going to lose that knight somehow, but
yeah,
maybe not.
Bishop at g5.
Bishop at g5. I was thinking... Nah, I got it.
Queen at d5.
We'll let the game play the way Kleerkast should play it, not the way John Lee would play it by sacking a queen. So still the same.
Queen at d5.
You play bishop g3 here. What do you do?
Yeah, I was looking at bishop g3. What about bishop at g5?
Bishop at g5.
Too risky. Not even threatening anything if you take the queen. As the bishop on b4 covers the queen drop on e7.
Yeah, Bugzilla's not happy with his position, I can tell you that.
Yeah, a bit stumped for a good idea.
Yeah, okay, bishop g3 was played. Did you go
Bishop
knight at f4?
G3. Yeah, you just want to leave that knight on G2 if you're Bugzilla.
I think
Move the
Kleerkast is
queen
going to
far
filter.
away.
Far away or close? I was thinking queen f3, actually. My pawn at g4 was an issue, I guess. There's knight
Yeah, I thought
e3,
queen c4.
knight e3, pawn at
Is he
g2.
going to go for it? Knight e3 check. They're tempting him to promote tonight, but
I just need to be right back.
probably not a good idea. Just make a queen.
I think make a queen. I gotta be right back. I think my daughter's having some night terrors. I'm just gonna help out.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be back soon.
Right. Whoa! What was he afraid of? Was he afraid of? I don't know. Surely a queen sack on f7 gets nowhere. King is safe on f8. So why didn't he just make a queen? And what happens on king e1? I'm just trying to understand why Bugzilla moved forwards. He had auto knight on. So if Bugzilla can get rid of both the knights, I still think this is Kleerkast's game. Oh, why he's letting his time run so low. I think black is completely safe, but the rooks may not be the best pieces right now. Rook at g4 seems to be the only threat, so Bugzilla's covered this with a mate in one. So castles? No. Still hasn't covered the mate on f7. I assume he's going to castle next. Bishop e6. All right, watch out for queen d2. Blocker. It's very similar to that. Oh no, this is it. Just rook takes e2 is mate. It's mate in 2. Or mate in 1. So seems Bugzilla missed this queen takes queen d2 idea. But I'm not sure there was a good defense because after bishop e6 and queen b5 check, you just play c6 and the queen has to move again. So sneaky move with 2 seconds left. Bishop e6. Scoreline is now 3-1 in favor of Kleerkast. I'm not really paying too much attention to the first 6 moves, so Katask, I'll believe you when you say a new opening. So it's where Kleerkast hasn't gone his usual g3, bishop g2 and h4. Yeah, a new opening from the match. That's what I understood. So bishop at d6. I think both players here are pretty much in their comfort zone. I know I'm certainly not. Knight e8. So perhaps I was just about to say trading in f4. Just to maintain this knight's position on e5. But Bugzilla has not taken back with the queen, the bishop instead. He's probably just making room for f6. Bishop at h4 is his response to f4. So he's going to have some sort of long-term prospects if he exchanges on g3, but Going to take a long time to make that dent into something. Another plan might be to target the e3 pawns, something like bishop g5 or bishop at h6. I think knight at g4 is a good response. So there we go, the magnificent queen defending in all directions. So pretty hard to come up with a cohesive sort of a plan for black. Have a lot of pieces that are shut out of the game, not much space around the king. You still have this pawn structure, but you see these white pawns just slowly creeping forwards, and as long as he keeps on defending his main weaknesses, g3, e3, d3. So I do like this c5 move. Trying to make use of the bishop here. It's only saying, can you take e6 now? So what's his idea? Does he want to go pawn at f7, or does he want to trade and then pawn at f7? Geta saying rook takes f7 looks winning. So plan is rook takes and bishop takes e6. But these knights are not the best defensive pieces, so I don't know, maybe a bit sad if you have to play knight at h6. And then you can munch away at more pawns. Maybe knight takes d5 to follow. Yeah, he's done it. Rook takes f7. I think this is the move of the series so far. Rook takes f7. Wow. Yeah, I mean, what choice? I think you have to take it and just hold on. But this pawn on d5 is dropping. Could even be worse. Because after a trade here, if the knight's on f7, there's going to be an e6 move. Another pawn landing on f7, rook at g8 to follow. Yeah, I do have to agree with the guys in the chat. This is winning for white. And Bugzilla seems to have very little choice. I mean, he just has to defend the f7 square. What else can he do? There's no counterattack inside. And this queen e2 doesn't look like it's posing too much of a threat to the enemy king, but it's an absolutely brilliant piece defending all the weaknesses here. So I think Kleerkast should just trade and then push e6 or pawn at e6. But he's building up. Must also be good. Yeah, g6. I mean, at least you have f6 covered a few times. That's normally a weakness otherwise.
Hey, sorry about that.
This one is not looking good either.
Not looking good for Bugs. No, Kleerkast with some smashing form tonight. Like I said, I feel that both of these players have the weapons to dismantle each other, and it's really going to come down to who's got the goods on the day. And so far, it looks like Kleerkast. You know, you just look at his positions. Every piece seems to be working well, I find.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Bugzilla. I mean, he's like Master 10. He hasn't been that active in Crazy House recently. Just playing the matches and
but he should have
games.
He should have won that knight takes f2 game.
For sure. But then Kleerkast missed this rook takes g2 earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Bugzilla would go for a run and try and make it all the way to b8.
All the way to where? b8. Alright, pawn at d6. Okay. Another knight in hand. Knight takes d6. Whoa, CD. That knight at c5 is made in one. Guys, come on. Knight at c5 was made in one.
Yeah, he's rushed into that move. It wasn't made in one.
Oh no,
The
king
pawn on
takes e5.
e5.
Sorry.
But is there then e takes d4 and queen e5?
I'm convinced
That covers all the squares,
I'm
right? Queen
convinced.
e5
I'm
mate?
convinced it can't be good for black with a king on e5, but it wasn't made
I
in
think it
one.
was made in
Sorry,
3.
it wasn't made in one. That's
Anyway,
not fair.
bishop at d6. I don't think it matters too much. White is just crushing.
Well, now king goes to
No,
f7.
still not mate. He's blocked the f file.
It's dropping the queen. That's gonna be it.
So queen at e6. He's covered that square, but then there's the back
Bishop
door
takes
entry.
g5. Queen at
f8.
f8. Woo! Kleerkast 4-1.
Wow. Really convincing game. I think that was his best game in terms of quality from start to finish.
Really? Kleerkast.
Yeah, if you saw the whole build up to the rook takes f7,
Okay.
bishop takes e6.
No, I missed it. My daughter
Zilla just
had a
didn't get
nightmare.
any chance to counterattack at all. So he's gone for an older opening, knight f3. This sort of thing's been played for years. Crazy house and bug house.
Yeah, e6 fairly standard. e5 also move. But I think Kleerkast...
Call that the e-calf, don't you?
The e-calf. That'd be e-calf. e5. It's a very active defense. Nearly like an attacking defense, e5. More commonly played in bughouse.
Yeah, Aronian likes it too, e5. He always used to play that.
Yeah, Aronian enjoyed that. Okay, bishop d3, pretty
So
standard.
b4.
Yeah, bishop b4, bishop d2.
Ryusei's saying in the chat it was made into knight c5, king e5, rook at e6.
Rook at e6, there's nothing covering e6.
I'll have to say I believe you. I'll check it later.
Yeah, I didn't...
I don't doubt you. Just trying to focus on the current action at the moment. So 4-1, Bugzilla's really make a comeback soon. It's now or never.
Pawn at g4 here? This doesn't look right for white.
No, what about knight takes d4? Yeah, knight takes d4.
Yeah, he's a bit off color, Bugs.
So what do you think on knight db4? Just castle, leave the bishop on
Yeah,
d3?
just castle, leave it on d3. It's not a game of chess. Give up the bishop pair.
So, well, Bugzilla's just turning it into a pawn sack, but he doesn't like losing pawns for nothing.
Yeah, but queen takes d1, rook takes d1, he wouldn't complain. Yeah, so...
But if he can turn it into something, you know, like that Nimzowitsch opening with knight c6, d5, queen takes d4 in the opening. Similar to that.
Well, yeah, if bishop e3 comes now, then it's pretty much that. So Kleerkast probably looking here, thinking, how can I get an attack going? And it's not that straightforward, because you've got to do something about that queen on d4.
Yeah, and also you don't have an immediate pawn at h3.
Pawn at d3, just giving a pawn back. So just cd here, I think. I think c takes d3, because your white bishop on e2 is worth more than the knight on b4. That knight on b4 is out of place.
Suggesting pawn at d3 in the game chat. So
yeah,
I think that means Katask understands the players quite well. It does seem like something Kleerkast would do.
Either understands the players or the position.
Give the pawn back. Yeah, but just give the pawn back and feel comfortable back at home on d8.
Oh, Bugs, not even biting.
Knight at d5.
I'd just play c takes d3 and say, okay, you gave me the pawn, and let's play. It's a nice even position. Oh, that's
knight at d5.
No, knight at d5.
Knight takes queen takes d3.
Ooh, no, I didn't see that. That's okay. Now you say that.
Oh,
I don't mind bishop f4. He just wanted to keep the audience in suspense if he was going to take it or not. Okay, now where does this knight go? Because e5 is potentially coming.
I was half expecting knight takes c7, and what is the follow-up?
a3, knight c6, pawn at c5, something like that.
Yeah, I do want to get in the move pawn at c5 as soon as possible.
So a3, what do you do? Knight d5?
Yeah, a3. Take, rook c1.
Take, rook c1. More like a position Bugzilla is comfortable with. I feel like, pawn at c5, e5,
but yeah,
knight d5.
I think white has a big edge here, pawn at c5.
Knight at g6, okay. So what do you do? Take, knight e4.
Yeah, I think Bugzilla would take everything. No, he's gone bishop g3.
He wants to be
knight
safe. Yeah, pawn at b6. He's looking for a knight to put on c7.
Yep.
So,
would you just try and force it with bishop g4?
Nah. I want to improve with something like knight e4 or cd maybe. But
yeah, I like bishop g4.
Bishop g4.
Because, I mean, knight at c7 is just so annoying to lose a whole rook. Or give a queen for a rook.
Well, yeah. The other point is d takes c5 was just coming as well. So you're going to lose all your stuff. You're going to lose your grip on c7 if you don't go for it. Ooh, he's allowing it. So he's probably going to sack the queen.
And then bishop d6 and try and castle. Or bishop e7 safer. Ah, bishop at d6.
Yeah. So yes, just make a quick plug for our fellow streamer Kleerkast, because he's been doing some great content in the last, what is it, probably 18 to 24 months as a streamer.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really good also having a streamer who's awake when we're not.
Yeah.
So he's 8 hours behind us at the moment.
No, so he's been covering a lot of the matches as well, and go check it out on Twitch. He is Kleerkast_chess, and some very nice streams. He explains ideas very well, and we're very fortunate to have another commentator.
I think in terms of a Bughouse and Crazy House play, he's one of the calmest players you'd ever see.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, the old days Bughouse players are known as being a bit fiery.
How about d4 here? Knight at h5 instead. d4 now.
Kleerkast king is permanently in the center. He has a lot of bishops surrounding him.
Yeah, he's not much time on his clock though.
And what are the future prospects in counterattack? I think Bugzilla
Ooh,
will be
Bugs
so
is
happy
in.
here.
Yeah, he's safe and he's just gonna chip away at it. Rook a7, pawn at b6. Oh, he's just dropped c6. Yeah, that's game over. This is bread and butter for Bugzilla.
Just take and queen at b7, bishop at c6.
Yep. And he's going to grab the rook and collect them all to win. You can't take it yet. Well, yeah.
Bugzilla might make the mistake of going for mate instead of taking all the pieces.
He won't make that mistake twice. He learns quickly from mistakes. Okay, d6. This is an old-fashioned bishop f5 is his line.
But yeah, he was struggling a little bit in the opening of the previous game, but did very well to get out of it.
Did he play this line?
Oh no, just the previous game I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I wasn't a fan of pawn at d3 from black. I thought that just gave a pawn away, and he completely backed the queen back to d8 and the pawn on d6, and then he was passive. So Bugzilla used to have a saying. He said, "You get the piece and the compensation," which basically meant you got everything. Thinking e5
says the finisher with knight on d7. No, he's got his bishop outside the pawn chain.
Yeah, this is an improved wolf. This is an improved wolf. You could just castle here. Oh yeah, right. e5. I just feel That's inviting
Yeah, those light squares
square
again.
weakness.
Something is going to happen on f7 very soon. Looks very shaky.
He'll just go knight f7, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because he's just going to go, well, what's the most aggressive move here? I've got to play aggressive today. It's like, if, for example, knight takes f7, rook takes f7, bishop at e6, bishop at h5, you'd go queen takes h5, knight takes h5, bishop takes f7. And if king h8, bishop takes h5, and knight at f7 is still a threat. Yeah, bishop at h5 is not a move here, even though it looks like you're forking the queen and defending. White can just go all in with queen takes h5. So knight at d4 played.
I think Variant Bunny would know that very well. She does lots of sacks with the queen on h5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Variant Bunny's board 2 in my
knight
team.
g5 line, you know, the old e4, e5 with knight g5.
Oh, yeah. Is there a queen h5 sack somewhere there? Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, and I think I know the one you're talking about.
Ryusei saying the wolf can't be improved.
Yeah,
Bugzilla's got out of this.
I'm okay with black.
Say okay, but then the attack is switching to the dark squares.
Yeah, still, I reckon you take it, play pawn at g7.
This is g5. You would.
I gotta let the knight die on f6.
You could even play a move like queen g8 and king h8. Get that formation.
Yep.
Where the queen is covering f7 and g7.
You could do that. I just figure if you're going to sack a bishop on g7, you've already sacked a few pieces. The knight on d7 is naturally going to come into f6 anyway. I'd give a knight back.
Katas says the perfect opening, the only one you'll ever need, because you can play it against d4 or e4, right?
You just can't play it against the wolf because he'll probably know what to do with white.
I actually thought about playing that e3, d3 against the wolf to see what he would do.
Maybe you get e6, d6.
Probably. I think he's just so used to playing it. Then one day I messed him up somehow. He got frustrated in the opening and he switched his opening. Can't remember how I did that. I don't think he likes playing against a London with d4 bishop f4.
Yeah, I can't remember. I probably had some series where I played some move order and got him into an opening that wasn't the wolf, and it's a completely fine opening for black, but it just wasn't the wolf, and then didn't go well for him after that. Anyway.
All right, what's this bishop at g6 move? Do you think?
I don't know.
It's trying to cover the f7 square. I thought it was more g7 more critical to defend.
So you're going to sack his queen here? Bishop takes h6, knight takes d8, rook takes d8.
Yeah, that's a very Bugzilla move. Bishop takes h6.
It's a fairly John Lee move as well, because you're losing your queen in the process.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, if you're not playing knight takes d8, then... Yep, rook takes d8. Unless he's thinking dc. No.
All right, so queen takes d4. Is that playable?
Yeah, I think Bugs is happy here, actually.
Because Katas was saying on some, maybe it was Discord, that queen in hand really needs pawns to go with it. Otherwise, what do you do with the queen?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, rook at e7. Is there a threat? Or can you just chomp d takes c3?
Chomp d takes c3? Or would you put a bishop on somewhere like f8?
Oh, what a call. If I was a Bugzilla, where would I put a bishop?
I think a lot of players would do that too.
But the timing was just so beautiful. Where do you put a bishop on f8? Bang! Like instant service.
1 second delta.
Instant service. Yeah, see, queen takes d4, like bishop at e5 just makes it feel unattractive. because f7's covered double, like g7's covered triple now.
Yeah, f6 is the only piece undefended, but then queen at e6, rook at f7.
So, not bishop at g4, because knight takes h6 takes, queen takes, knight takes, bishop at e6, and then you're covering g4 again.
Yeah,
I don't
I'd
think
expect something like pawn at... I was going to say pawn at f7, but... Yeah, the knight, it's the same idea.
knight
to
at
cover
e5
the
is
f7
good.
square. And he doesn't mind knight takes, bishop at e6. And just give the rook. And perhaps rook at f7 in that case. Rook at f7 is my guess.
I feel like in this series, Kleerkast needs to have a clear attack, or Bugzilla needs to have a clear defense. And if one of them gets what they want,
f takes.
Knight f takes, yeah.
So watch out for pawn at h3. It's coming.
It is. You don't have f4 in your options here.
Alright, has he got all the squares defended twice, 3 times? How many times does he need to defend the squares around his king? Bishop at e8?
So he would actually...
Alright, here he grabs the knight. I think...
Yeah.
I was going to say Kleerkast wasn't going to make a move in time.
Oh, here we go.
He's going for it.
Oh, he's going for mate. Are we in trouble?
Yeah, he's got knight h4 and knight...
He's got mate though. Rook at g2 and pawn at g5 is going to finish it. Or bishop at f4 and pawn at g5. Either will work. But oh, he went for mate and he nailed it.
Game here, 3-4.
3-4 Bugzilla on the comeback. Just playing. I find he's just trying to really play safe. And yeah, I think maybe Kleerkast.
He knows that Kleerkast is going to sack pieces and be aggressive. If he can take it and survive,
yeah, you got
in the end.
You got to find that right balance, because if Kleerkast overextends, then you know, Bugzilla will use that material to his advantage.
Marlon's saying, what happened to this 2-syllable rule? Because Bugzilla is 3 syllables in Australia. That's too long. You got to shorten it. Bugs, Bugsy, Iggy.
Bugsy. Well, that just doesn't sound right, does it? It sounds like a...
We see a new...
Nah, we've seen that. Nah. He's played this against Chicken, and it was in the wrong move order, and... Yeah, this is the same incorrect move order. Like, you know, the bishop's meant to be...
What's the threat?
There's either a bishop...
G2 doesn't seem to do anything.
You're either meant to have a bishop taking h3, or a queen going on g2. But neither of those are in hand, so that's just giving a pawn away. I can just see Bugzilla putting a pawn on g2, castling, and then just grinding for the rest of the game.
But don't forget, Bugzilla blundered a pawn last game. He justified it somehow. So you reckon pawn at g2?
Pawn at g2, yeah. You can tell by how quickly...
Take with the pawn, g takes f3, and then put another pawn on g2.
Just take with the queen.
I forgot he's played king f1. Yeah, I forgot he's played king f1. Actually, what about the setup? G takes f3 and pawn at g3, king g2, rook e1.
Ooh, Kleerkast is making... He's going to say...
He's going for it, e5.
I think you play knight takes h4 here. Just you neutralize anything having
on h3. Does he really want to sack the queen on h3?
No. He's surely not. Knight takes h4, queen takes h4. What? Knight at f3. You reckon queen takes h3? Ooh, knight takes f3, bishop takes d8.
The king is so safe on e2, isn't it?
Knight at d2, king e2. You need another knight for c3, don't you? Yeah, okay, wow. Bugs is playing the sharp move, bishop g5.
See, this is the advantage of king f1, because knight takes f3 is not check.
But why not knight takes f3 takes and just king takes d8? You can't take f3 back without giving black something. Bishop takes d8, king takes d8.
Yeah, because g takes the bishop.
G takes, bishop takes,
H3.
h3 comes in. If queen takes, knight at d2 is on. That's why I thought knight takes h4, queen takes, and knight at f3 was just a bit safer.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't mind knight at d2, actually. I prefer that, because now if king takes d8, I can play g takes f3.
Knights are both misplaced.
I favor white here.
He's got to take the bishop, surely.
Yeah, how many times have we said something like that, and then the player's done something completely different? Bugs is basically figuring out if he wants his dark squares open or not. Do you pick off an extra knight, or do you just play king takes d2?
d2 is an option.
Yeah. So if pawn at b4, you can play cd, but okay, king takes d8 played.
I think Kleerkast has some sort of practical chances here. If Bugzilla tries to counterattack too quickly.
If he tries to mate, you mean? If he just tries to take all the pieces, he's gonna get this one. It looks pretty comfortable. Yeah. So let's look at the material count. White's up a queen for a minor piece, it looks like, but has all the pieces in hand, so lots of flexibility.
So just
queen h5 is just holding on to material, saying, what have you got? Pawn at b4. If pawn at b4, then you can play c takes d4, because then the bishop doesn't have its square.
E1.
Happiness Bunny says, hi John and Mugwort, nice to see you all here. Making cake with family, so can't watch, but I'll watch the replays. Alright, enjoy your cake and eat it. Well, they say you can't do both. Knight at c5.
Blocked out his bishop from c5.
Yeah.
Just jump in and go bishop a6.
Well, you remember you were saying, well, if we got to 4-all, who would you pick?
Yeah, the person with the momentum.
I guess so. Alright.
So Bugzilla, I don't really feel like he's trying to mate though. He's just taking pieces. And
yeah,
safe.
It didn't work out well for him before, so yeah, he's just taken all the material. He's got no mate, but
yeah. All right, so we have it. 4 games all.
I reckon we're going to 5-5 here.
And look at the head-to-head, 15.5, 14.5.
Yeah, just a feeling. I think we could be going to 5-all here. This is exciting. 4-all is the most exciting scoreline. Okay, so Kleerkast really out of the blocks fast, but Bugzilla's just tried to avoid getting attacked, pretty much. I think Kleerkast will be happy here.
So
I think this is
move order.
Yeah, but
the bishop on c8.
This is a normal wolf, right?
Yeah.
Because with the bishop on g4.
Play knight c6 before castles, I think.
Yeah, well, we need Wolf here to consult with him on what's best to do.
Wolf always tries to go e5 as early as he can.
Yeah. No, Wolf has had some very nice games against myself playing black, and has demonstrated some nice ideas.
So in Bughouse, you do something like knight takes d4, wouldn't you? Try and grab 2 pawns for the piece. Well, that may not work so well after castles.
So is he saying knight takes d4?
Some lines where you can try and take 2 pawns for the piece in Bughouse.
Yeah, I reckon Bugs would do that actually.
But something bad's going to happen on f6 because I think it works better before you castle.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
What's going to happen on h7? This looks like one of my games. Bishop takes h7, knight g5 coming.
Yeah, I'm backing Kleerkast to win this game
Yeah, so I think
already.
f6 is forced.
Just because I think he's got the opening that he wants. Or the type of opening that he wants, I should say.
I'm sure Kleerkast is looking into it. Fumitox made a funny comment that all Kleerkast sacks are unsound.
Fumitox makes lots of funny comments.
So, no, knight takes e5. Bugzilla's happy to avoid the trades.
I think Kleerkast would still be happy. He's got the space advantage. He's got all the pieces are working.
So what Bugzilla wants to do is now counter that bishop on d3.
Don't you just play e takes f6 here? E takes f6, g takes f6, pawn at g5. That feels like what Kleerkast would do. He's very good at breaking open these kinds of positions. I would trust him to break it open better than I could.
Yeah, this is trouble. Bugzilla might have to sack that knight and do something like bishop at g7, pawn at g7.
Yeah, but
I
then
don't see where that knight's going.
White's just winning material with, just moving forward and winning material. So you're right, he's put a pawn on. Could have gone knight f5, because there was a check at least. Discovery, e takes f5 for a tempo.
Yeah, that's true.
It stops knight d5 from coming in immediately. Here, White's just up a piece for a pawn. Maybe it's not decisive yet, but Queen e2. What's he looking for? Knight
bishop
d5?
Bishop at h5? Bishop at h5?
You're looking at g4 if bishop at h5.
Whoa.
This commentator's disagreeing with what to do with a nice position. You could just castle queenside as well against bishop at h5.
Yeah. Open the g file, you mean? Just happy to go g takes f3?
Oh, no. Bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight takes d4, queen g4 wins the knight on d4. So I just mean castles because the rook is then covering the d file, and then you're opening up with bishop sometime to h7 on a good day.
Alright, what's just happened? Bishop at b4, that was unexpected. Or was that in case castle's queenside? He just wanted some piece in the vicinity of the king.
He just wanted to put a knight on f4 and look like he's attacking.
Yeah,
But it's a one-man band.
Like he's attacking.
Well, queen e4. You're going knight takes d3 or e5?
I don't think Bugzilla would feel too safe after e5.
No, me neither.
Doesn't feel like a Bugzilla move.
It doesn't.
Knight takes d3.
But I was asking your opinion, not his. So.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been brave enough to go e5.
Alright.
Pawn at e4.
Ooh.
And then...
That's like instant service again.
Yeah. It's just the first move I saw.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Kleerkast just saying, how are you going to defend h6 then? Because...
Queen g7 looks a bit dodgy.
Knight at f5 here.
But f6 is the big target. F6.
It is. He was planning queen takes f3.
I think it's a good time for a breakthrough for Kleerkast like this.
Yep. Knight takes. There could be some
stock in hand.
Queen takes f5 sack at the right time. Build it up. Like get a bishop on f6. So the queen's defending h6 now.
Yeah, bishop at f6 looks good.
Does it with the rook. So maybe he's going to take f5.
Do you think bishop d7 is the... Nah, h6...
No, bishop at f7 is okay here. I was more concerned about bishop at f6 actually, because if you play bishop at g7, you just rinse and repeat, and you've got a bishop on f6 again.
Yeah, you draw the queen up to g7.
Yeah. Whereas this I'm not as concerned about as black.
So all the bishops on the light squares. That means we're probably going to see some theme where the queen is drawn to a square where white can keep putting on pieces to attack the queen. Like pawn at g7. That's just game over, isn't it? Pawn at g7. Bishop at f6.
Yeah. I liked it better than knight. It's just short on time. It's not straightforward. You can't block easily here. Maybe you have to play knight at g5.
F8.
No, I think
F8.
knight at g5. I think. Nah, queen f8, knight at f6, pawn h6 looks really devastating.
Yeah.
Wow, he took that.
Knight at e2, but Kleerkast is hoping he'll have something.
There's no mate. There's no mate. Pawn at g5.
Take the pawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Run back to e7.
Yep.
And then the knight has you covered on
Oh,
c6.
he went. No. Knight takes f7. Queen at g7. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. He's still not out yet. Bishop at g6.
He's got to keep the knight on f4, because otherwise pawn to f4.
Yep. He's got g4 covered enough times.
Oh, good move. Bishop
good move.
takes f4. Ooh.
Kleerkast. Clutch.
Can't believe he took that pawn on g5.
Why did he run up? King e7 was... Nah, this is Kleerkast now.
Yeah, it's like made in two.
Clutch.
5-4
Wow.
Kleerkast.
5-4 Kleerkast. Alright, Bugzilla's got to win with white. Good snatch, Kleerkast. I think Bugzilla had the defense there, but he cracked under pressure.
Task saying pre-moving in 3+2.
Okay.
Alright,
okay, let's see what made all these guys made of.
I think this is a good move order, because now you can play f3 and then...
There's no knight on c3.
For anything on c3. Oh yeah, we've seen this already.
We've seen this.
In game,
but I don't think Bugs is going to play pawn at g4 this time. That's what happened. He went pawn at g4 and the h file opened and queen h4 came in.
h5, h4.
So Bugs.
Did he play bishop a4 last time?
Yeah, he did.
So we're talking about the bishop going back to e2 after that.
That's right. But I think Bugs will be like this would be a choice that he won't mind.
You think this knight d6 move is something that Kleerkast has looked into, because he's playing it very fast.
I feel he's played it before. Not necessarily that he's looked into it with an engine, but I feel like he's comfortable with playing it.
Unusual idea.
Okay, Kleerkast will be looking to make some fireworks.
Piece grab. This is the piece grab line.
Bishop at g5.
Yep, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I just keep rinsing and repeating bishop at g5 here. Knight at d4.
He wants to remove the bishop on f5 in case of h3.
h3 anyway? Then you can just take it.
Oh, e6 is going to kill at some point.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe white needs a little bit more material.
Yeah, bishop at b6 is covering f5. Bishop at g5 now, still? Yes, okay. It's on the board. So pawn at f6.
There's no bishop at e7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Bugs looks solid here. He's nearly connected his rooks.
About h3. He's just going to take and go knight f4.
Even just pawn at g2. Whatever he does, he's not going to put a pawn on g4 again. even if it's okay, I don't think he'll do it again. Alright, can that just be taken? Black doesn't have a bishop in hand for h2. Has Kleerkast seen something we haven't?
Understand what's going on.
I just feel like he just said I had to be aggressive, put a pawn on g3, but I don't know what comes next.
Yeah, there was one game where Grandmaster Figlu destroyed me with this after I played f3, but that was in a different line where I opened the h-file suddenly and I was dead.
I mean, key difference here is the bishop on g5 has restricted the queen from ever getting to h4. So...
And that king is never castling. I think g7 is going to be a permanent weakness in the long term.
Yeah, I'm tipping Bugs to win this one. We could have a 5-all here. He just can't get too low on the clock.
What about a move like pawn at h6?
Yeah. I just feel like Bugs is trying to shut down the attack. Like, he just wants
take pawn
to
at
give
g2,
nothing.
you reckon?
Rook takes h3. Maybe knight takes f5. He's going bishop takes. Like, I just don't even think Bugzilla is thinking about attacking this game. He's just going to go defend, 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 defend.
Ah, the finishers even put it in the game chat. The game he's talking about. I'm trying to remember which one it was in the series.
Yeah, that's...
Must have been game 4 in the series?
I think game 2. But, was it... No. Was it game 2? Bugzilla may have won
you were watching? I think Yasu was watching that match too.
Which match?
My match against Figlu, where he opened up the h-file and destroyed me.
Right.
Because the finisher just posted that in the game chat.
Right, okay.
That was from 2 years ago.
Jeez, you got a good memory, man.
Yeah, I don't forget getting destroyed like that in 15 moves. As white.
Rook g1. Rook f2, okay.
They're joking about the Finnish archives. Because the finisher found the game in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I nearly hear like, oh yeah, that game, I looked at that last week. It was 15 moves deep, and there was an improvement on move 13. You know.
But here the pawn on f3 is really useful.
Yeah, it's a good defender.
There's no knight checks. He's got f1 covered 3 times.
No, I find when Kleerkast gets low on time and Bugzilla is still safe, that's very suggestive of which way it's going to go.
So we are going to see 5-all.
Yeah, most likely 5-all. Unless Bugzilla tries to mate. Oh, here he goes. He's going to try to mate.
So does he mate out of desperation or?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you remember what he used to say, there's plan A and plan B.
So plan A was flagging.
Plan A is flagging, yeah. Plan B is mating. That's worrying as a partner. So, what do we do here? Plan A. Oh.
Yeah, queen takes.
Queen takes e3, yeah. It's just dwindling the amount of pieces. Queen g5. Or is he going to try to snap him here? Knight at f6.
Find something clever.
No, queen g5. Collect them all to win. He can even just queen takes g7.
Take g7. Knight at f6 the main threat.
Yep. Good solid game. 5-all. 5-all, guys. Who's going to win? This is
live match.
For a position in the candidates. You've got to win by a margin of 2. This is as close as it gets.
Taking flower bets. Who's going to bet on Kleerkast? And what are the odds of the finisher? So Bugzilla won 4 out of the last 5. And he's doing a only move f6. Is he going to go g5?
That yeah. I played that against Kleerkast and I was unhappy for a long time in that game. The castle's here, you can't castle as black because bishop takes f5 loses a pawn.
Yeah, I thought everybody knew this. Knight takes d5.
Unless there's a trick, because maybe knight takes h4 here.
Ah, yes.
Maybe there's a trick here.
So what's the normal position with the bishop back on d2 or something? After f6,
I
no?
don't
Bishop
know.
d2 is a sophisticated way to play.
Maybe that's what Katask would say is the theory, bishop d2, because you don't want your bishop on h4 when you try to win a pawn. Katask is very good at stealing that d5 pawn. So knight takes e5, knight takes d5, knight takes h4 here.
But does it anyway, because he's going to pick up something.
He'll pick up
The
2
bishop at e6.
pawns. Well, I mean, you get all the light squares because the knight's on h4. Ooh, bugs. Intermezzo with bishop at e4. So, idea here, leaving the pawn on e6 to deny bishop at e6 ever happening. If knight c3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3,
Bishop
knight
takes
takes
f3 wins
h4.
piece.
Very nice. Bugzilla with the move. 5-all. He's warm. Knight at e7. Oh, I don't see pawn at e7 working. Really?
Which way would you take?
Anyway, even with the
Anyway,
queen. Okay, maybe not even I would take with the queen. But black's just
Super solid with that
solid
queen on
and
e7.
the material's even. Bugs will be happy here. You don't want to be Kleerkast playing against Bugzilla with black and trying to have to win.
Thanks, noob at chess. Noob at chess. Pawn at g4. He's just going to crack into g2.
He's just going to crack it open, I reckon. There's so many diags on offer. That's just a thematic
the most accurate
stack.
follow-up. Just go pawn at f3. Ah, yes. Queen takes g4.
So you could play here. Yeah, just takes rook is fine. I can see Bugzilla even playing rook at g6 and just saying, I have defended g7 3 times and you're not going to attack me. And because you're not attacking me, I'm going to win.
Yep, that's right. That is the philosophy.
King e2 looks okay. Why does he put a knight on d2? What does that do? Does he go rook at e4 and knight takes d4? No, d2's still hanging. Or you chicken out and go rook at g6 now.
Yeah, here's an option. He's trying to set up some trick with that bishop on the light squares, but I don't quite see it at the moment. Maybe he just wants to go stick something on f3.
Either that or he just figured king g2 or king g1 weren't attractive and he wants to put the white king on e2 and then just cash in on it later. That's a reasonable thought process.
And Bugzilla wouldn't just leave that knight hanging, would he? Unless he's got something really good prepared. Knight c4.
He had a saying, which was "let it die," which was he just left a piece there to be taken. So I think he can leave a piece on by itself.
Improvement. Rook at g5.
More aggressive than g6. You just take queen g5, king takes d2. Then knight takes g3, rook f2 is coming in. That's the point, because f takes g5 opens up the f file. Wow, bishop at h5. Oh, just knight e4 here.
Yeah, knight e4. Now that square's available to you.
Pawn at f3 first, and he's forcing the issue a bit more.
I was expecting pawn at f3, but it works better now the queen is in hand.
So where to from here? I mean, you're happy with black, but you've got
Yeah,
to
you got to
do
attack that
something
weak
with it.
point on f3.
I just thought every pawn still counted there. There wasn't. You didn't have to play pawn at f3. You kind of. Because you don't have a
Maybe he
way in
thinks he
here.
can win a pawn back with queen at c4 or something like this.
Maybe. Yeah, queen at c4, maybe. Pawn at d3 though. Alright, he's setting something up here. What is it? Bishop at g2.
Come around the back, bishop at g2.
Pawn at e4 was okay for white, wasn't it? Instead of allowing the bishop trade.
So the bishop at a pawn at g2.
Pawn at e4, I thought. Because these all sound minor right now, but it's kind of like you let the black bishop on g2, and then, you know, it allows the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and then it actually becomes a matter of solid technique not to allow it.
Squares, they're going to be punished.
Yeah, because now it's dangerous. Whereas if pawn at e4, it wouldn't have allowed this.
I think Kleerkast will be frustrated with this game because he didn't have a single chance to attack. I mean, after the opening, it was all Bugzilla.
So knight takes d5 was a trick to allow, it looks like.
It was a very nice intermezzo, though, bishop at e4.
Yeah, bishop at e4. We'll remember that one, won't we? So you got to be careful of rook at h8 here. That's what Kleerkast is trying to sneak in. But even then, rook at h8, king f7 is probably okay. He's allowed it.
What?
Rook at h8, king f7, I think. Yeah. Oh, he's taking it. Whoa.
King h7.
Sure. Oh, maybe it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, he's fine. King h7 is fine.
Rook at h6.
Yeah, because he's got mate with queen at e2 if you ever take the queen. Yeah, you can't get a grip back on g6.
When 2 games ago, when Kleerkast was dropping all the pawns. Surely you
king
can't get
takes.
mated here.
Or if you go backwards, you can.
Yeah.
You can get... Oh, there's 2 knights now that can hit g6.
Oh no. Oh, Bugs. Don't do it.
King h7.
The queen covers.
Yeah, queen covers. King h7. Oh, rook at g6. Yeah, king h8 still okay. He's still okay.
Yeah.
Oh, rook takes h6 though.
Oh, hang on. Knight g6, king g7.
King g7. No, it's still okay. Just don't die.
So unnecessary.
Why risk? Why risk? Yeah, no, he's okay here. Kleerkast is running out of steam. And they both know it now. Bugzilla leading 6-5. Oh, Kleerkast in a tough spot now. Okay, he's got to win with black. Alright, could we see 6-all? Alright, we want to see Kleerkast keep it alive here. Sveta in the chat. Good to see you, Sveta. We used to go to chess tournaments together, all of us.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
A while ago.
Yeah, good days. Do you remember? Hey, so you, me, Bugzilla. I don't know if Sveta was there.
Sure, we would have been at the same tournament at the same time about 15 years ago.
Was he there when we all had when we all tried Luxor? Do you remember that day in Adelaide? We all had Luxor. Yeah, we all had Luxor.
I remember the day. How could I forget?
You probably didn't forget the day after either. Okay,
I think I've sweated more running 5Ks.
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, spicy food is something I can take. I just remember you, you were like, you just had this look of torture on your face, and I was just like,
I was trying to
draining.
hide it.
I was
but I
draining.
couldn't
I was
manage it.
draining the bowl, and then you just pointed at me and said, "Oh, look at tan. That's crazy." Good times. That would have been good 15 years ago. That would have been showing our age.
Maybe more.
Yeah, I'll call it 15 years.
2003, I think, 17 years ago.
Jeez, you can remember the year. That's impressive.
Because it was the year after I played in the Australian reserves.
Right.
So I had to win that to qualify for Adelaide.
Ah, okay. Hang on, Bishop H6 here. That's a blunder. Bishop H6 just saves the bishop. He just lost the piece on D2 and thought he could.
He's trying to do an intermezzo again.
He intermezzo, but Kleerkast hasn't seen it yet.
Pawn at G5.
True. Maybe he's considering that. You could put a bishop on H6 and then knight takes D2, queen G5, perhaps. No, he's moved the bait Jesus. So pawn at G5 is going to happen. Then bishop at G4, but you've got to be careful. G takes H6, bishop takes H5, and let's use the pointers on the screen. Bishop at G4, G takes H6, bishop takes H5, H takes G7, rook G8, queen takes H7. Still dangerous.
H7. So do you put the bishop on G6 instead of G4?
Yeah. So Ryu Say 8000 has suggested bishop at G6 in the chat. I think you still take H6, right? You're committed.
Yeah, he's got to go for it.
So if he takes the queen,
he's the one that can take a risk, and if he loses, it's back to 6 or Bugzilla. I mean,
true. But I don't think he meant for bishop H6 to happen after knight at H5.
Yeah,
I think that's a miss.
So
But yeah, if Kleerkast gets low on time, it's hard. The thing I feel for Kleerkast is if he loses this game and you look at the scoreline, it'll be like he lost the last 6 out of 7, and that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, even though he played well in the chicken match, this one is a lot closer than the chicken match.
Yes, but this is a good move. G takes H6. This is a good move. Okay, bishop takes H5, bishop takes D5 with knight at G7, the trick. But do you just
What about?
Can you take it and play bishop at G6, rinse and repeat? Or maybe he's going to play rook G8 or bishop pawn at G7. No, rook G8, queen takes H7. So probably pawn at G7 here.
Yeah, cover G7, I think.
He's got to go though. He
can't afford to think.
He can't afford to be in time trouble here. He's doing a John Lee. He's not leaving enough time on his clock. I've committed this offense a lot.
How he's giving him 3 options every single move.
Yeah. He's just beating him with too much choice. He's even thinking knight at F4 here.
Yeah.
Oh, queen takes H7?
Queen takes H7. Rook takes G2, king H1.
You just take it. Rook takes G2, king, knight at F4, king G1. I'd just take the rook. I mean, it looks dangerous because you can lose a knight on F3, but you never lose it in the right order for mate to happen because the bishop covers G2.
Yeah, I was trying to get pawn at H3 to work somehow.
You know what's going through Bugs' head? He's saying, every time I've allowed an attack on my king, it's gone bad. and he's at 6-5 up now, and he's going, do I have to really...
Just keep it safe.
Yeah, just keep safe. Queen takes H7 I think is fine, but Bugs is going to be thinking twice here, going... It's very easy for us as commentators to call it, but... Oh, he's going for it.
But does he try and rush him? Does he go for the flag? Does he take
no
his
fear.
Time?
King takes, yes.
Right.
Yeah, this is correct. Alright, it's on Kleerkast now.
And pawn
What's
at
he got?
h3. That was what I was trying to make work before.
I didn't consider
It's the
that.
most dangerous move.
The king takes. I actually didn't consider pawn at h3, I gotta admit. Yeah, there could be a difference between king g3.
But the thing is, every
and-
time you pick up the second knight, the bishop comes back to f3
Yeah,
and
that's
defends
true.
g2.
I think king g3 could actually be most accurate here. Just so that...
Tao saying we have a match again. I don't know. You're saying king g3 is safe.
King g3, where are you going? Knight at f5 or knight at e2? Knight e2, take h3, if knight
He
f4...
takes d5 check.
Oh, that's check. No, I missed that. I'm missing stuff here.
That's it, yeah?
That's it.
That's game.
Oh, bishop g4. That's game. No, I missed that
Bishop
too.
takes f3, yeah.
Oh, Bugs will be
Pawn at h3 first. Oh, it's the same thing.
amazing. 6-all, Kleerkast. Clutches a win.
Wow. Keeps it alive.
Wow. Pawn at h3. No, I underestimated that.
Because I was hesitating because I forgot that rook takes g2 picked up a second pawn, which you needed.
Yeah, maybe he had
Otherwise,
to play.
I would have just
He,
said it instantly.
he actually maybe needed to play king h1. I missed the whole sequence. I missed the whole sequence.
Ah, yeah. So after rook takes g2, is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, king h1 after rook takes g2. Ooh. Yeah, no, Kleerkast saw deeper than me. That's for sure. I just completely missed the whole motive there. That was
Alright, this
that
is
was
definitely a wolf opening, e5.
e5 here looks e5 bishop b5 I think is the move. He's gone d5. And you go back to b8 here?
Yeah, I think Kleerkast is going to try and set up similar sorts of ideas with knight g5 and knight takes f7. Something is different though. The bishop is still on c1.
Yeah, f4.
What was that game where he went knight takes f7?
That was different because the bishop was on g4 and white bishop on e2, and they traded the bishops. So
Yeah.
there was more on play on the light squares. Whereas f4 here makes sense. Knight d7, knight takes f7 here. So maybe I was going to say bishop g4 there.
Surely Bugs has got to expect knight takes f7.
Yeah. White can also play... Wow. Yeah, you don't really play f4 to play f5, but it could be interesting to actually close it off and then break f7
Just go
open.
for a long-term bind on the
Yeah,
knight
long-term
squares.
bind. But then if f5 and knight takes d5, you just got to check that doesn't lose a pawn. It's probably too dangerous for black to play. But I'm not Wolf, so I'm no authority on this.
Well, if you probe Wolf long enough, he admits it's a bad opening. But he still plays it anyway because there's lots of tricks.
There's lots of tricks though. So from a practical perspective, he's certainly taken his share of wins against me with theoretical traps that I haven't known.
Ooh, no blocker. Well, only a knight for blocker.
Yeah, but king h1, knight g4. Can black just go straight for it? I mean, normally white attacks here, but
yeah, but knight g4 looks really good. Rook takes, queen takes, even better.
Super juicy, doesn't it? Yeah, this is a problem.
Well, he chose to open up the game with f4, f takes e5.
So you're wishing as white that you actually did play f4, f5 here.
Yeah.
Ooh, knight on f2. Okay. I mean, it's probably necessary, but it's not where you plan to put a knight when you play pawn at h6.
Mm-hmm.
So g takes h6, bishop takes h6,
Yeah,
knight
g takes
g4.
h6 and then knight g4.
Knight at g4 or knight g4? Oh, you just went straight knight g4.
Open the rook. Open up all the avenues.
Okay. I think this is wise as well. You don't even have to allow the trades on h6. You're just saying, I'm coming for f2. What are you going to do?
He's got to sack the queen. What else is there?
Yes, that thought frequently goes through my mind during games.
I mean, look how powerful queen h4 is coming. If you don't sack the queen now.
Yeah, every piece of black looks like it's working, and you kind of go, how could black be playing knight b8 and then get this position?
Yeah, like 6 moves later.
Rook takes f2. Because
Yeah,
if rook takes, bishop takes f2, mate.
Queen h4, but then you have a rook to do something. Yeah, rook takes f2.
Rook takes f2, rook takes f2, bishop takes f2, king h1, knight at g3, h takes g3, rook at h2, mate.
What about bishop takes f2 first, king h1, knight at g3, h takes queen h4 check? Oh, but then there's a blocker.
You could just go straight to h4. But rook takes f2 is pretty forceful here. Like,
yeah.
Ooh, queen takes g4.
Oh, so many options.
There must be mate here. Rook takes f1, takes, rook at g1, king e2, knight at d4, king
so you can take
d2.
the queen with check. You just take the queen with check.
Yeah,
king is on e2.
That's it. Yeah. Wow.
7-6.
Oh, we're back here. 7-6 to Bugzilla. Okay. e3.
e3. Is it a mouse slip?
e3 d3. Oh no, he didn't hear you. e3 d3 would be funny.
See if Kleerkast is as aggressive with black.
You know what? But Bugzilla's actually worked out here. He says if I play passive and I just do not get mated, and I run that clock down, I win. And I bet you he's rethinking the game 2 games ago, where he's like, why did I allow rook takes g2? I could have just played safe. And why risk?
Bugzilla does this in chess as well. He just sits there. You think he's doing nothing, and then you overextend, and then he just pounces
Bang.
on like a tiger.
No. He said my favorite position is where both players are completely blocked and no one can do anything. And you just have to make a slow plan. Like, he just loves that sort of position where he can see it coming 6 moves away. And he usually comes out on top when it breaks.
He even sees his opponent's blunders about to happen before they make it.
When you say that, it's reminded me of I can't remember the name of the opponent, but he was just a cold pawn down, but then there was a pin, and his opponent lost a piece, like on a square he thought it was defended. So he took a piece there, moved the piece away, and he won another piece on the same square. Yeah. But he knew it, like, but he played it as if he knew it would happen.
The fish.
Okay. He's got to be careful, because if he just plays too passive, he will give Kleerkast the position that Kleerkast likes to play. And at the moment, I feel Kleerkast is comfortable here. I don't think he's comfortable with the scoreline. I think he's comfortable with the board, though.
What do you reckon about an idea like knight at a5?
Knight at a5. I was looking for a black move.
I really want a bishop for c3 or d4 and pile up on that diagonal.
Sorry, to be honest, I was thinking for a plan for Kleerkast, not Bugzilla.
Oh yeah, I know it's his move. So e4, shut the position. What's D4
is a very Kleerkast kind of move. It's like, I can't open the position with
the queen was on d1. Sorry, c1. I forgot the queen was on c1.
Okay. There's probably an e5 that's going to work at some stage, and an e4. Like if a king goes to d1, like e5, e4. like, it doesn't have to be
wants to
this.
play Queen B2.
Okay, so
His
E5
king
here.
can always escape over to the left.
But what, E5 are going to play bishop C3, and then there could be a knight D5.
Knight D5.
Nah, Bugs doesn't want the queen on B2. So if E4, pawn at E2. Like,
He's watch for knight at F5. It looks annoying.
Yeah, it might be where you have to play E4 to keep pressing. Yeah, knight at F5 here, defending E3, attacking G7. Makes sense. But Kleerkast is very adept at seemingly giving a pawn for nothing and then having all the pieces work and, very well justifying that pawn sack. But bishop C5, I felt... I don't know.
Is he going to grab the pawn on E5?
Is queen D5 something to worry about?
Hard to say.
Hard to say. Who says that? That's Who says that? Hard to say.
Sounds like that Dmitry Komarov,
No,
Tang's
not Komarov. No, Komarov is different.
What's going on here? Do you grab the queen?
I think Bugs has intent to hold on to the material, grab the knight.
What are you saying? He's going to go pawn at E4 or pawn at E2? You can always keep the threat to play knight takes G7 if you can do something better to defend first.
I just don't think white has enough follow-up to justify trading two minor pieces into black's hand. King E2? What?
I was not expecting King E2.
It is making Kleerkast think, though.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice the time.
Oh, I guess E3 is what he was trying to cover.
Yeah, now he wants to set up some bishop takes, queen takes with the bishop on C5, not covering E7.
What about B4 here? Because
yeah,
if you can,
that pawn at D4.
Because if you knock the bishop back to B6 or A6, you can take G2 for free.
Yeah, bishop takes G2.
And then queen takes F5, knight at E7.
Katas says pawn at A7 is fancy with the same idea.
Yes, pawn at A7 is very nice.
You can go now, pawn at A7. Does it work now?
Pawn at A7, king D7.
He's gone for plan A, I think.
Yeah, well, it is plan A. Pawn at F5 here. Do you try to shepherd that queen into H6? No, he's finally captured E5. Alright. But Kleerkast here with some activity.
Yeah, I
like
like C3.
Kleerkast is 7 seconds away, just holding on here.
You gotta
go. You gotta go.
Very soon. Might as well just go rook at A8.
No, don't put a rook in black's hand, because then maybe queen takes G3 could become more of a nuisance later on.
Well, you could always run away to F1. Okay, the rook F2 could be dangerous with the two bishops on E3.
Yeah, he's just covering E3. Ooh, rook takes D3.
What's the idea?
Bring a queen into D3. That's the idea. Rook at D2 is safe and secure.
Rook at D2. Oh,
check. Oh, he's got rook at D8.
He must have some idea.
Rook at D8 just wins the queen for free. Nasty.
He had 2 rooks. I forgot he had 2 rooks. That's it.
That's it.
Game.
Oh, Kleerkast.
Yeah, I totally forgot he had 2 rooks in hand.
Oh, I feel for Kleerkast because he was up 4-1. I mean, congratulations to our countrymen.
He had to go for it then. I mean,
yeah.
Times.
That's
facing a massive wall of pawns. I had to go for something.
That's gut-wrenching. So, Chuck, thanks for the subscription. There you have it, guys. Bugzilla is into the candidates, and unfortunately, Kleerkast has missed out. He was up 4-1. He was up 5-4 as well. But really, he came out of the blocks just in such stunning fashion. You would just, you know, I feel like Bugzilla had to just put the brakes on by just playing defense, and he kind of worked the clock down on Kleerkast. Any thoughts you have, Mugwort? Any closing thoughts?
Well, I think Bugzilla just showed his exemplary style, especially in that last game. Just defend, and take all the material, absorb, and then 1-2, finish it with the 2 rooks in the counter attack.
Yeah.
It's so sudden, so vicious.
But rook at h8.
He really loves collecting those pawns, building a wall, and just enticing the opponent to sack on you.
But you can see his opening choice there, e3. He played that with some intent for the whole.
Surprise in the last game because he was getting attacked with Kleerkast's, h5, h4, h3. Especially that third last game with rook takes g2.
Yeah.
Talking about before.
I mean, I felt the difference here was Kleerkast played the same strategy as he did with Chicken, but he was just sharper when it came to the punch at the end, and that's why he cashed in on so many games early.
You noticed a few times the time factor really favoured Bugzilla there when they entered some critical phases and Kleerkast was down to 10 seconds and Bugzilla just kept him under pressure on the clock and on the board.
Wow.
Had to pull out the accurate moves, but it's just too hard with so little time.
Okay, so that determines our 12th candidate. Kleerkast has just joined my stream. Kleerkast, feel for you, man. I thought you played just stunning Crazy House. The first 5 games you just blew Bugzilla away. We're astonished actually that it just came so close, and then it was really just on the day who could pull out those last couple games. So but stunning play.
And great fight. I mean, it's really captivating for the audience. You just couldn't tell who was winning, like 4-all, 5-all.
Even the first few games, there were a few time scrambles. We couldn't tell who was going to win, and it seesawed. But look, I'll just quickly name the 12 candidates because we have them now. So we do have one more match left to go in the double elimination knockout, and that is just a $25 prize match between Mugwort, my co-host here, and King Switcher. That's coming up Friday or Saturday, I want to say.
Saturday Sydney time.
Saturday Sydney time. Friday yep.
Eastern time.
So that's later this week. But both King Switcher and Mugwort are in the candidates, so we can announce the 12 candidates now. And I am gathering some short bio information on each of the candidates, and I will be aiming to make a bit of a YouTube video to kind of introduce the candidates, give them a bit of personality and color and flavor, and also share the depth of these players, because we're more often known by our nicknames here, not our real names, and not people don't know that we've had chess experiences in the past and things like that. So it's a talented group that we've got. But here we go. I'll just pull the drawer up.
Yeah, you got the list in front of you. Go for it.
Yeah, I've got the actual thing. So we got Jasugi 99, GSVC, King Switcher Mugwort, I've just mentioned, Chicken Crossroad, The Finisher, Variants Only, Juanet, and from the lower bracket we've just determined Bugzilla, just getting ahead of Kleerkast there. Bugzilla has earned a spot this year. Penguin Gim 1, Andrew Tang, famous Grandmaster. Art of Deception, bit of a dark horse there, Art of Deception. Look forward to seeing what he can do in the candidates. And Master Tan, who just qualified recently with a 6-1 win against Anju Nakamura. I didn't see that, but Mugwort covered that live, and he tells me that was quite a convincing victory for Master 10. So there you have it.
He can really pull out the quality when he needs to, I think.
So Master
A bit
10.
like these two players we saw here. I mean, some great fights.
Absolutely.
Absolutely down to the wire.
So we've got candidates coming. That's 12 players, and it's a round robin. So the original schedule was 11 rounds, one round to be played each 2 weeks. We can possibly play it faster than that if the players want to get ahead, but we certainly don't want to get behind because we know we're going to wrap up pretty late in 2020 already. But look, I think, and my comment here, and I'm happy to hear your opinion, Mugwort, I think this year is quite different. I think there's a certain level of preparation that is nearly expected, by the players. A lot of people are using stockfish. A lot of people are working out, we've seen this line before, and we never talked about Crazy House like that 3 years ago. It's just different. So if the players do want to take their time and so they can prepare and have time in their week or fortnight to be able to do that, that's why we've made time. So I think we're probably wrapping up 2 weeks later than originally scheduled with the double elimination knockout, which is not a bad result. I think that's pretty much on schedule.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait for us. I mean, you could start whenever. It's just like a bonus match on Friday. ET that doesn't count towards the points.
Sure. Well, I need a bit of time to be able to make this video I'm talking about as well, and then we'll probably launch it just after your games wrap up, or your game with King Switcher. Because in the meantime, I'd like to prepare a draw and actually say, well, on round 1, who is actually playing who, round 2, who is playing who, because in the past we've kind of.
So there's a little bit of uncertainty whether it's going to be like a fixed draw. You play this person in week 1, or do you organize your own matches with the candidates?
Yeah, well, I think what I'll do as organizer is at least lay out a fixed draw, and the idea will be to not fall behind that, but you can get ahead of it. And the reason why I say that is just because sometimes someone has to, has life circumstances that take out 6 weeks, and to deny them the opportunity to get ahead while they can leave you with a problem later on. But we've had some cases before.
Certainly getting ahead earlier is a benefit.
Yeah, but we've had some cases before where we've had no structure at all, and then someone ends up playing all 8 of their matches and someone's played none, and I feel like some people just get demotivated because they've seen somebody's already won like 80% of their games and they can't catch them.
Especially if you lose your first round or 2.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose motivation.
Yeah, whereas if we all kind of keep at the same pace, then, everyone's kind of still within shot of each other, and there's a routine. So, anyway, I just think that's minimum to play at least one game every 2 weeks, but you can get ahead if you choose to do so. Okay. Oppa's asking for a bug session with us.
I saw Oppa in the Discord earlier. He's pleading for us to play some Bughouse games.
I'm gonna have to call it a night because I'm on daddy duty actually. But Spencer was well behaved enough to go to sleep just before we started, but he's gonna wake up again before long. So we'd be halfway through a Bughouse match and you'd have no partner all of a sudden, which isn't ideal.
And also the window arrangements aren't the best because I had to shrink down the window size.
Fair enough.
If you have a double board, it's going to be a mess.
No, thanks for everyone who joined us tonight. Great match, both between Bugzilla and Kleerkast. Congratulations to Bugzilla, and sorry to Kleerkast. I thought you just played so well out of the blocks. It was phenomenal to see this match.
And I have said a few times in the streams that these two players, it's a real shame that they're both not in the candidates.
That's true.
Because, obviously it's one or the other at this stage with the double elimination, and this is the elimination bracket.
That's right. Well, I mean, I guess it's between Chicken Crossroad, The Finisher, Bugzilla, and Kleerkast. It was one out of those four that would have to miss out in the way the structure is built. And so, one way or another, we're losing a favourite. But at least we have 12 candidates and not 8, because I really felt 8 was too slim to cover the depth of the players this year.
I think I had a really tough field 2 years ago, and now Kleerkast got a really tough draw.
Yeah, no, you got a very tough
field. Look at
field.
the draw.
Yeah, can be. All right. Katask says, great stream and excited for the Crazy House coming in the candidates. Yeah, I mean, there's already been some phenomenal Crazy House in the double elimination knockout. The quality this year has been a notch up from, prior years. So candidates are still to come. That's another, how many games? In my head, I'm counting 66. Is that right?
Yeah, it's an AP, isn't it? Arithmetic progression, 1 up to 11.
I just count 6 is the middle of 1 to 11, and there's 11 times 6. So that's how my brain counts 66. I could have it wrong, but that's a lot of games.
It's a formula we learned in high school, which we've all forgotten.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you, Mugwort, for joining me. Feels weird calling you Mugwort. I'm just going to call you Neil. Neil's his first name.
All right.
For the viewers.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, that was good. We'll do some more.
Congratulations to our good old mate Iggy.
Yes, that's right.
That's true.
That's right. And Kleerkast, I know you're there, so we're looking forward to seeing more streams for you. We're looking forward to coordinating more with you, because we actually do overlap with your time zone, which is fantastic. So yeah, hopefully some Mugwort and Kleerkast streams, some John Lee and Kleerkast streams, and I hope OK gets in there as well. So we're going to need some help covering.
Make it 4 in the morning again, please. I'm so not a morning person. After being forced to get up in the morning every day for 15 years, I can't do it.
All right.
There's a real incentive, like a John Lee versus Jasugi match.
Oh, you stayed up for that one, didn't you? Oh.
Yeah, because I remember you laughing at one of my quotes. Was it, if the players can stay up, then I can stay up too.
Yeah, no, I think one of the viewers must have been checking if you were getting tired, and you were saying, well, I don't have to, I got nothing on the line here. If they can stay up, I'm staying up. Okay. Right, let's call it there. It's good night from here in Sydney. We've just crossed over midnight. Candidates are on their way, and good luck in your match against King Switcher. And of course, mate. Good luck in the candidates.
Taking it 100% serious like this match, but just a bit of fun, eh?
Alright.
Doesn't count for points.
Treat it as a warm-up for what's about to come.
Yeah, a bit of entertainment.
Okay.
Crowd, we hope.
That's right. Alright. Take care, everyone. Stay safe wherever you are, and we'll keep streaming as much as we can. So we'll catch you next time. Alright. Bye for now.
Alright. Take care. Good night. See you next time.